Okay, this is a recap of Lecture 1. Just a few definitions. Statistics in the broadest sense. Statistics refers to a range of techniques and procedures for analyzing your data, interpreting the data, displaying it, and then making decisions based on the data. Hypotheses. This is looking at the relationship between two or more variables. In this semester, we'll only analyze two variables. So we'll look at the independent variable and the dependent variable. This is, you can read on your own concepts. We talked about that. And remember, a concept is not something tangible that can be touched or seen. There needs to be a way to operationalize those definitions so that you can measure it. The variable, this is something that of course varies, and we assign different values or levels of that measurement so that we can quantify it. Independent and dependent variable. Remember, a dependent variable is a thing that you're trying to predict or explain. And the independent variable is the thing or the variable that is affecting that dependent variable. And these are the levels of measurement. We have nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Quickly, an example of nominal would be race or ethnicity. And remember, this is something when you're looking at the categories of that variable, for instance, race or ethnicity, the categories such as African American, 1, 2, Hispanic, Latino, 3, Caucasian, 4, other. One of those levels is not more or less than the other remaining levels. It just means that each of those are different in some way. So one is not better or more or less. Ordinal, these are variables that are measured at the rank level. So it does matter for the categories of that variable or the levels. It does matter the order that they're in. So for instance, if we're looking at class status, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, each of those levels is either more or less than the adjacent level. So for instance, 1 is for freshman, 2, sophomore, 3, junior. We know that having junior status is more than having freshman or sophomore status. Interval, this is probably the easiest one that you'll remember because this is just like counting numbers. Intervals. So for instance, age, if it's measured at the interval level, and it could be measured at different levels, it just depends on the researcher, but if it's interval, then each of those levels will be more or less than the adjacent interval, and the space in between, or the interval in between those categories, we'll know exactly what they are. So for instance, age, if someone is 19 and another person is 20, we know that the person who is 20 is exactly 1 year more or older than the person who is 19. Okay, so we know what that middle point is, or that in-between point is. All right, and ratio, this is similar to interval, only that the 0 point actually has intrinsic meaning. Okay, and we talked about visits in foster care. If the mother or father does not visit, that 0 means that it actually means something, that they're not present and they're not working towards that agency goal. Okay, and then the others you can read on your own, and look at the additional slides or lectures for the remaining parts of the quiz.